Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Attitudes with Andy. If you are new here, this is the place where we learn all things happiness, health, and wealth. So if that feels like something cool, feel free to press follow and subscribe to join the party. Now, this is the first episode of 2025, and I don't know about you, but I am so excited for this year. I feel like there's an energy, and I feel like everybody is just taking big chances and everybody is just living out their dreams and big things are moving, not only in like people's lives, but I also just feel like in the world. And I'm just so excited. I'm feeling very hopeful for life. And yeah, so if you're not feeling that way, I hope that watching this video will maybe make you feel that way. Before we start, I thought we could draw a little positive card. These are some very cute little cards. Oh gosh, there's literally dust on them. I just have them on my desk for design, clearly. But anyway, they're cards with different dogs on them, with different like motivational cards, so different positive cards. So I thought that we could draw one, and yes, this was a gift from my man because he just gets it. Okay, today's quote is, "I'm a great believer in luck, and I find the harder I work, the more I have of it." And we've got a nice little white dog. Don't know if you can see that. Looking quite happy. I don't know about you, but I feel more positive after that. Also, shout out to my man for those flowers. My goodness. Anyway, enough about him. Today, we're going to be talking all about how to set yourself up for the best year ever. Not only to achieve our goals, because we love to achieve some goals, but also to just feel really good and joyful in majority of your days, so that we're not just like waiting around until your holiday or your promotion or you buy a house or a car, whatever it is. We don't want to be waiting around for the big moments. We want to make every day a sleigh. So the first thing I want to talk about is this notion of like new year, new me. Everybody's like new year, new me. And I just want to say that we don't need a new you. We just need a slightly better version. Just like a little improvement. And I promise this is meant to be motivational, guys. But the thing is, when I look at what people have achieved in their lives, if you break it down, it's honestly consistently showing up every single day. And we always kind of overcomplicate things. For example, if somebody wants to get fit and healthy, I swear they're like, right, I'm only going to eat all whole foods and I'm going to exercise every day and I'm going to have the best routine ever. And lo and behold, what happens is it gets stick to for a few weeks and then it's like out the window in the bin, because we have this like all or nothing approach. We think we have to go really hard and fast to achieve our goals. And while sometimes, yes, our goals achieve relentless energy, I really think it's literally about showing up. Why did I sound American? It is literally about showing up every single day and doing the small things that compound, instead of thinking that we have to like flog ourselves every single day. Okay, so when we say new year, new me, no, what we want is I can't English. New year, 1% new me. Okay, because if you can just focus on making all those tiny little changes, I promise you, your life will look so different in a year, in a few years, and you'll look back and you'll be like, whoa, what the actual heck? Like, I had a moment today where I was like, what is my life? Like, what is happening? How did I do this? And I often have moments like that. And I look back and I'm like, yeah, it's because I just made a decision to just show up and do the work and everything like that. So yeah, we're not about changing our whole selves. You are already amazing. You've got everything you need to become the person you want to become. And the person you want to become versus who you are now, I think you'd be surprised how attainable it is and how much you like you don't need to do a massive shift as you think you do. I think it's just making those small changes and showing up consistently. Okay, so what I love to do at the beginning of every year is set a theme for the year, okay? Because like our life comes in seasons, so we're not always going to have the same theme. I feel like I have a lot of hand gestures going on. I'm trying to hold this microphone. It's quite difficult. Anyway, so I love to have a theme because life comes in seasons, and one year you might be focusing on relationships. The next year you might be focusing on business. The following year you might be focusing on health, whatever it is, okay? Last year was definitely business. I mean, you guys, if you've been following me for a while, saw that I took a massive break from my podcast, which was really sad because I love this podcast, but I took it for the long-term game, guys, because I was setting up my business. I knew where I wanted my business to be at, and I knew what I wanted the life of my business to create, okay? And then I just focused on that. So last year was the year of business. It was the most amazing year. I achieved literally the most insane things in my business. For those of you who don't know, I have a virtual assistant business, and it's gone really well, and it's my full-time thing, and I absolutely love it. It's my baby. It's called Bentley Assist. Come follow along on the Instagram page. And yeah, so that was the year of focusing on business. This year, I've got a new theme, okay? And I'll tell you what, I've actually recently changed it. It's like, we're not even 2 weeks in. I've already changed it. Anyway, so my first theme was going to be the theme of fun. And my sentence of the year was like, doing hard things is fun. Because when I look back on one of my favorite times in life, it was like this 3-month block between first year and second year uni. And I was saving up to go to college, which was around $22,000 Australian dollars for the year, which is a lot for a uni student, right? Anyway, so I was living on my best friend's floor, free rent. Thank you so much, Queen. I was working 3 jobs, and when I wasn't working, I was literally just like out and about socializing. Oh, and I also set myself the budget of $30 a week for food, which is so crazy. This was about like, oh my God, it must be over 5 years ago now. I feel so old. No, it couldn't have been. I think it was 5 years ago. So things were cheaper then, but still, $30 a week was not much, okay? But I look back on that time, and genuinely it was the best summer ever because I was just doing it all. I was working so hard. I had this one goal that I was just hell-bent on achieving. And then when I wasn't doing those things, I was working out, I was seeing friends. Like, I really was doing it all. So that's where the sentence doing hard things is fun, because it's satisfying, it's fulfilling, and I know sometimes hitting the snooze button or going for a walk instead of going for the run or going to get takeaway it feels fun in the moment, but it's not afterwards, because you feel this like sense of like, I lied to myself. I didn't do what I said I was going to do. And whilst I do believe in absolutely taking breaks, recharging when you need to, slowing down when you need to, but there is some type of fulfillment that I get from just doing it all and going for it. So that really is what this year is about, is like finding the fun in every moment, finding the fun in the hard, because I have a lot of big business goals happening this year and just like so much movement and just craziness. But I'm so excited. So finding the fun in the everyday and not just waiting for the big things, and finding the fun in the hard. And then also I've added the word joy. So fun and joy. And it's like, can I do this joyfully? Can I, what date is it? I think it's like the 9th of January currently. And the next month and a half is honestly going to be some of the craziest times of my life, because I have so much going on in business again. Anyway, and I'm just like, you know what? Can I do this work? Can I get stuck in? Can I do the hard work? And can I do it joyfully and find the fun? And I'll let you know how I'm going. But yeah, that's my intention for the year. So ask yourself, what is your theme for the year? Are you wanting to focus on your career, your relationships, whatever it is? Have a theme, okay? And make sure it's one that feels in alignment, not one that just like looks good to other people. Okay, the next is setting your goals. So before you set your goals, I really love to reflect on the year prior. And if you listen to my reflecting on the year podcast, which was, I think, the episode before this, you will have already known this. But for all the newbies, reflecting on the year that's just been is going to help you look forward to the year ahead, because we want to know, what are the themes? What did we love? What did we wish we could have done, right? So I, every single year at the end of the year, go onto my notes page and I do a massive brain dump of all my highlights for the year. And these can be, they don't have to be major. They could be like, I really enjoyed going to Bob's birthday party, and just whatever sticks out as a really beautiful moment. I also have to look at my photos for these because I'm such a visual person. So I highly recommend doing that, because you'll see things and be like, oh my gosh, yes, that happened. It kind of makes you also realize how much happens in a year, and probably how much you've evolved and changed in just one year, especially if you're in your 20s. I feel like every 6 months I'm a new person. Like, I look back on photos and I'm like, I don't recognize her. And it's not because I've maybe changed that much physically. It's just because I'm like, whoa, how I was then is not how I am now. It's not how I think. It's not how I act. So crazy. Anyway, so reflecting on the year that has just been is the best thing. And then also what I did is this year, and I've never done it before, I kind of counted how many things on my highlight were like personal life. For example, going to Bob's birthday party. I actually don't know anyone called Bob, so unfortunately I didn't go to Bob's birthday party, but if anyone named Bob wants to invite me to their birthday party, I'm totally open to it. Anyway, so yes, I loved to count kind of how many things were personal, like relationship wise, like friendships and all that, and how many things were business. And it was funny because even though I have had the biggest year in business, I've made the most amount of money I've ever made, like I've had so much quote unquote success, as I put in bunny ears, most of my highlights were personal things. It was, dancing with my whole family at my cousin's wedding. It was warm hugs with friends. It was like laughter at events. And that made me be like, wow, even though I'm so passionate about, this podcast and my business, even though I love hitting milestones there, what is really gonna actually make me happy and what will always make me happy is the human connection things. And so that just reminded me so much that this year is gonna be working hard, but I will always make time for my loved ones. And I know in the past, a few years ago, I was definitely in my low-key toxic hustle era. Ew, cringe. Ew. I wish I could go back. Anyway, it's fine. We live and we learn. But I was in my toxic hustle culture, and I did not make time for the things that actually matter. And the things that matter to me is human connection. I really believe it is why we're here. Without our loved ones, life is quite meaningless and pointless. Not to get too deep. But when I achieve something great, it's most of that enjoyment is juiced from sharing it with my loved ones and them celebrating it with me. Imagine if I had nobody to be like, woo, I did this. It would feel so empty. So, wow, we got real deep there. But anyway, it was just really nice to see oh, wow, I achieved all these epic things in business, and most of my highlights were having a good laugh with a loved one. And a warm hug. We love warm hugs around here, so I'm a hugger. Moving on. So once we've reflected on the year that's just been, and we've looked at our highlights, what is a good thing is to look at what we wish we could have done. And I don't know if this is going to make sense, but something I'd love to ask myself is if I was a Sims character and I could just control that Sims character without that Sims character has no feelings or thoughts or whatever. They just do what you tell them to do, right? And you can just do it on autopilot. So if I could make I imagine myself as a Sims character. If I could make my Sims character do anything, and especially on autopilot, what would it be? And I don't know if this is going to make sense. This is so weird. Anyway, but some of those things is like, okay, well, it would be waking up at the same time, and it would be working out regularly, and it would be eating mainly whole foods, and it would be showing up consistently, because it's easier to think about yourself as like a video game character. Well, it is for me anyway, as a video game character, because then you're almost removed from the situation. You're not making it like, oh, I don't feel like doing that, or like, I don't want to do that. So anyway, what I do is I'm like, okay, if I could have gone back in time and put something on autopilot, for example, working out every single day, or not every single day, 5 times a week, whatever, would I have done that? And it's like, yeah, I wish I had done that, because then my fitness would be at this level. So just looking back, we don't want to live with regrets, because we always want to live, laugh, love. But yeah, what do you wish you had showed up a little bit more in this year? What are you kind of like, ooh, I say I'm this, but actually I've been smacked in the face? Let me tell you 2 things I got smacked in the face with, 2 realities that it hurt, guys. It hurt. It was like painful pill to swallow. The first pill I had to swallow was looking at my Strava Wrapped, okay? This hurt because it made me realize how much I did not show up as much as I thought I would. And I think I honestly only worked out like 134 days out of the year, which like, yeah, it's not great. But don't worry, we're working on improving that. Okay, the other one is I looked at my Aura Ring Wrapped. It's crazy. I swear every app is now doing a year Wrapped. Anyway, and it told me my average wake up time, okay? And it was nowhere near 5 a.m., okay? And I literally always go over to England and I'm like, yeah, everybody in Australia wakes up so early. We're up like at 5 a.m., making it seem like I wake up at 5 a.m. Well, I don't, or I didn't last year. But don't worry, guys. I'm part of the 5 a.m. club this year. Anyway, so yeah, that was a rude shock, but sometimes we need these rude shocks, okay? We need these rude shocks to remind us, hang on, are you actually doing what you say you're doing? Okay, we've reflected on the year. We know the highlights. We know the things we wish we had have done. Okay, now setting our goals for the year. Something I love to do, and I've only done this for the last 2 years, but I really like to set less goals, less habits/intentions, so that I can actually just like focus on these goals. Whereas if you have like 10, it's like, oh my gosh, which one's a priority? Where am I going? What am I doing? It's a bit overwhelming. It's a bit OTT. And whilst I know we want to like get healthy, get wealthy, get happy, progress in our career, have amazing relationships, have really good sleep, all the things, I know we want to do it all. But if we focus on everything, then we really are focusing on nothing, because we can't focus on everything. So just pick your priorities. So my first goal, actually, am I going to share these goals? Yeah, I'll share these goals. I never usually share my goals with anyone, but like I just thought that you and I, we have a special bond, okay? So I thought you would earn it. All right. So my first intention is to do this podcast consistently and show up every single week. And in the past, I've gotten lost in looking at how many people are watching and looking at the real views, like as in the reels on Instagram, and just like being either excited and happy when there's lots of views, and then being like down in the dumps when there's not many views. And that's kind of ewy behavior, because I can't control how many views this gets, okay? I really can't. I can put lots of love into it. I can promote it. I can do all the things. But at the end of the day, I don't control the algorithm. I can't force somebody to listen to it. But what I can focus on is bringing the vibes, bringing good content so that you want to listen to it. And this whole podcast was started because I have been asked so many times throughout my life, like how I'm such a happy, positive person. And I just know that there's so many things I do or ways I look at the world to make me a happy person. It's not like I'm just born like this. Although I do believe I was born with quite a bit more serotonin than the average person. I don't know. Maybe it's just grown throughout the years. Anyway, so I really want to spread that happiness and spread that joy and give you practical tips. Anyway, I'm going on a rampage. So that's my first goal, is just to focus on showing up every single week and trusting that whoever's meant to listen will listen. If it's meant to grow, it'll grow. If it's not meant to grow yet, it won't grow. You know, it's fine. She'll be right. Okay, number 2 is living more in the present. This one is a little bit difficult, but I just feel like I'm either constantly thinking about what I'm going to do next or constantly problem solving, even when I go for like long walks on the beach. And to be fair, that is where I have my best ideas or where I like solve things that are going on in my life. Seems like I have a lot of issues, but you know what I mean? Like, you're like, I really want to do this. And you're like, how am I going to do this? Anyway, now I'm getting distracted from the point. I really want to live more presently and live in the moment. Again, I know I touched on this in the beginning, but it's like, why are we waiting? I swear we are always waiting until that next big thing. We just put off our happiness. And I cannot figure out why on earth we do it, but we do it, right? We're like, we'll be busy. And we're like, oh, I don't have time to enjoy this view, I've got to go off. Or we're stressed, we don't have time to appreciate the people in our lives. Or we are, really excited for something. So then we're like, oh, I can't wait until this happens, instead of just like enjoying right now. So this one is a little bit more challenging to kind of say whether I achieved or not. I guess it would be more intentional. But I've been meditating every day, so that's been kind of helping me be like, okay, come back to the moment. So it's like little reps, building those reps. Okay, and then goal number 3 is a business goal. And it's a product that I'm launching. And then I've also got a goal for how much I want to make in business. Now I know this goal is just, very dependent on the inputs. So I'm focusing on the inputs of my business. And if I hit that goal, amazing. If I don't, but I know that I've put all the input I could have possibly inputted, then I'm going to be stoked anyway, because I know that I showed up. Another thing with setting your goals is make sure that you kind of go big. Go big or go home, guys. Like, I listened to this podcast and it was speaking about why is it that we set goals, especially financial goals, we'll just slowly increase it. So if Sally made 60,000 last year, she's like, all right, this year I want to make 65, next year I want to make 70, the year after 75. Why increase it so slowly? He's like, why not just increase it? Why not be like, this year I'm going to make $500,000, $500,000, so you think differently when you set such a big goal, because it's like, whoa, okay, that's massive. How am I going to achieve that? Like, what am I going to do? And you have to think and act differently to achieve a goal like that. And I think we can apply that to all goals. And it's like, why not aim for the moon and you land on the stars? Or is it shoot for the stars and you'll land on the moon? Oh, man, I don't know. Either way, they both sound quite inspiring. So the whole idea is like, yeah, absolutely go for it. And even if you fall short, you'll probably fall short way ahead of what your mediocre, achievable goal would have been. So when you're setting your goals, be bold, be brave, and just remember, it takes just as much effort to manage a low-paying business than it does a high-paying business. So why not go for the high-paying business? And you can apply this to everything in life, but it's like, it's going to take effort regardless, okay? So why not go for the big thing? I remember, again, listening on a podcast and somebody was like, the man who owns the pizzeria shop is working just as hard, maybe even harder than like Elon Musk, okay? But Elon Musk is the billionaire, and the pizza man might just be scraping by or might be making, 100K a year or something. So we really want to make sure that we're working towards big instead of thinking average. We don't want to think small or achievable in bunny rabbits, because once you open your mind to what is possible and what you can achieve, then you will go out there and get it. Yeah, get it, son. Okay. Oh, sorry. Ew, she's coughing. All right. So those are my three goals. Very kind of simple. I remember them. Good diversity. Now I have my habits slash intentions for the year. And these things are more like what I want to do every day. So one of my goals is to be part of the 5 a.m. club, which I'm pleased to say I've been showing up every single day. This is because, again, I know I'm going to be working really hard. So I really want to just like get up, seize the day, do my morning routine, set myself up so that I can just like kind of crack on into work earlier. Number two is not going 2 days in a row without working out. So if I miss a day working out and then suddenly it's day 2 and haven't worked out yet, well, then I have to work out that day. So I can't go 2 days in a row not working out. This is to resolve the whole me not working out that much and having a rude shock from Strava. So hopefully that should solve it. And then my third intention is to eat more organic food and whole foods whenever possible. Sure, yeah. I mean, when I'm traveling, we'll just have to see what happens, but it's just whenever I can, you know? We can only do our best. So anyway, I hope this episode has inspired you to write down your goals and get really clear on the year, because 2 years ago, I was reflecting on my year and I was like, whoa, this year was like scrambled eggs. I mean, so much happened, but it was just like a scrambled egg. I couldn't tell you what I achieved. Big things happened, positive things happened. But yeah, it was a scrambled egg year. And sometimes we all have scrambled eggs year. That's absolutely fine. But I think something that stops you from having a scrambled egg year, or as much as possible, is having intention for the year. And obviously we can pivot when we need to pivot because opportunities come up, unexpected things happen. Sometimes life blesses us with a different direction, whatever it is. So if we can have intention though, that is fantastic. So I hope you have an amazing year. I'm going to be seeing you every single week, but I'm just wishing you a really good year. I think it's good vibes, and get onto the new year, kind of new energy type of vibe, because it's gonna, start to dwindle as we realize how quickly the year goes. So it's like if we can set ourselves up now, feel really good, and then keep those habits going even after the new year kind of vibes have ended, then we will be doing amazing. So thank you so much. Before you go, I'd just like to talk about today's sponsor of the podcast. They're pretty cool. Today's sponsor is from my business, Bentley Assist, which is a virtual assistant support for high-level CEOs. So if you need any admin support, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. It's just at Bentley Assist, or www.bentley.assist.com. And if you would like to become a virtual assistant, well, then you are in luck, because I have a webinar coming up all about how to become a virtual assistant. It's completely free. It's on the 21st of January. If you would like to join, just send me a message on Instagram at Bentley Assist and I'll send you the link. So thank you so much. I'll see you next week. Feel free to follow and subscribe on whatever platform you're on, and I can't wait to see you then. Bye.